Hey everyone, Sean here, and today on the Hawke Talks, I wanted to talk about something really relating to Genshin Impact, although this is a little more specific towards a Genshin Impact content creating channel on YouTube, which is Majestic Gaming. Probably for those who do play Genshin Impact, you've probably seen his name on YouTube somewhere at least once in your Genshin career, I guess you can say. He's been very popular amongst the community for his informational videos, and including videos that have leaked information in them. Unfortunately, very recently, he came out with a video update on his other channel, addressing his biggest YouTube channel, getting the copyright strikes from seemingly MiHoYo themselves, although we'll get into that later. He has 3 of these, which means his channel could potentially shut down if no further action is taken. So for right now, he can't post any videos on that channel. He's only posting videos on his other channel. Long story short, he's been having some unfortunate issues with copyright strikes and on YouTube, but it's really because of the information that he's provided in his videos. People have always gone to him for the information that he can provide for Genshin Impact. Early on, it was like very informational. It was fair. It was information that was pretty much like tips and tricks, help you to get further into the game while you're putting more hours in the game. Like these little tips and tricks do help in the long run make your experience better for the game, essentially. And it was very handy information about the artifact stats, what to do with this character, what to do with that character, so on and so forth. How to pick up these items, through the farming routes, what have you, those kind of videos. And those videos have always been very, very helpful, and his delivery is something similar to that of a teacher, a teacher who's pretty passionate, or very passionate rather, about the subject he is teaching to the class. That's what it kind of felt like to me, at least, and so that's why I was able to sort of digest it quite a bit, and this was during like the sort of early stages of Genshin Impact, a couple, maybe sometime after the release of Genshin Impact. It has come a long way, or at least it feels that way. And along the way, I discovered Mattjestic Multigaming, and I felt very hooked onto his videos just because they were, very helpful, informational. There are supplements of knowledge when it comes to Genshin Impact, so that's why I was personally subscribed to his channel. But yeah, it's very unfortunate that he's going through the situation. But I do want to explain my sort of opinion overall of where I lie when it comes to like why and whose fault is it and stuff like that. So after seeing some observations myself about his situation, I felt that I wanted to kind of see other people's opinions and comments, right? And so people like Tectone kind of pretty much reaffirmed what I felt like I kind of picked up from Matt, and he was pretty much like his own victim. He was like the victim of his own demise. He was the perpetrator. But it's a very like tragic situation. It's kind of like almost like a person dealing with some sort of addiction. And I think the whole thing with MiHoYo and the leaks, right? We all knew that people who leaked their future content, and people who spread this said information could face some consequences. And there were plenty of people who went out and warned Matt, and he just said that he thought he was gonna be okay because the way he delivered his information was just like speculation, and the information could be subject to change and all that fun stuff. But I think that was partially, while I do see where he came from, I think overall he kind of built up his own sort of delusion. Unfortunately, he just kind of gotten pretty blindsided by that. His own ideals about how he went on with his videos, and I think because of these leaked videos, how they performed, how people were sort of okay with it because it was very helpful, and given that the game was very dry at the time, and so people wanted like the information and the sort of planning and all that stuff ahead of time, especially the free-to-play players, in order to like be ready for them, be prepared, and spend this many primo gems and wishes as least as possible. That was the idea that Matt had in his head at the time. But it was still, you're still dealing with leaked information, right? One way or the other. So in my opinion, I think he was just playing with fire, and I think he got way too close to it, and he definitely got burned some way or somehow. Long story short. So I think again, like, this is just a story of a person who is, I'm sure, like, very nice and a good, kind-hearted person, but unfortunately he kind of fell to his own delusion or illusion that he created for himself, and he fell for it. He fell for himself. He's a victim of his own demise again, and he put himself into a situation, and there was really not much else that was really helping him take away from that addiction. There were only a couple of people that were trying to warn him for a very long time, apparently, and he just didn't listen because he really thought it was the part of freedom of speech and all this stuff. And again, he just became so delusional because of his naive sort of nature, and just him not knowing things, unfortunately. So that's just that's the whole case about it with Majestic. But there could be a light at the end of the tunnel of this situation. So if you look at his videos, he explained the lowdown on the copyright strikes, and if you look at and it's clearly there that the actual claims themselves, or rather the statements that were written in those strikes, were in Russian, which is very odd because MiHoYo is a Chinese company. Why would they write in Russian to an English-speaking creator and such? He also, I believe, he's knowledgeable in Chinese, so what I mean. So if they wrote him to him in Chinese, that's still understandable because it's a Chinese company, what I mean. So they could write him in either English or Chinese. That could have made sense in this case here, but it was in Russian, which is very odd. And he translated the Russian statement from those claims, and it basically all says about just his thumbnail and the splash image, quote unquote, and the title was very clickbaity. That was pretty much the TLDR kind of summary of the statement, which is very strange because it doesn't really mention about the information within the actual video, the content itself. It's just the title and the thumbnail. So this could mean that these claims are just fake and using the MiHoYo name or whatever it is, or the MiHoYo subject. I think maybe there's someone out there who just doesn't like Matt for X and Y reasons, and wanted to just try to take him down. Probably maybe this person could be just a Genshin Impact content creator on the lower end of things, who wanted to also provide the leaked information for the fame and the cloud and all this stuff that Matt was able to gain traction of, and now that is also why he kept going because of the sort of that addiction feeling that he got, because the numbers and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure he was getting some pretty good revenue out of that too. So, again, that was like playing with fire because you're playing with leaked information from MiHoYo. So, that, and they, of course, they made it clear about the leaked information and all that. That is all the more reason that you're absolutely playing with fire at a very close range, which is why the burn was felt at the end of it. So this could mean that he could be back to the claims being possibly fake, likely fake because they're in Russian and the statements themselves only state the title and the thumbnail, really. So that means Matt could get his channel back, of course, if he takes the right actions and stuff. And I do hope that he gets his channel back, but I do hope also that he kind of goes back to the roots and just goes back to information that's officially provided. I hope he goes back to like making some speculation videos, but not just based off of leaked information. So, or at least go too deep with that leaked information, because you can still mention about information, but it's just that what I mean. Like he just provided those like numbers, and so that to me is going quite deep with that information. So, and also the fact that I believe when you search for something like leaked information on Genshin Impact, I think his name like popped up. So maybe that's a cue from the claimant, or the striker, let's just say, to do said action to try to take down his channel. Maybe he was just so up high on the search list that became the biggest target on his list. I'm sure that there are many more content creators who do this type of stuff too, in a similar fashion. It's just that Matt is the top, pretty much, because a lot of people did come to him for the news and all the information that he provided, even the one that includes the leak stuff. That is that's what really put him on the top. So again, that all that was factors into why he got those strikes in the first place. And I think hopefully this will be like a wake-up call for him to change how he does things for the future, stay away from that information from now on, and just talk about what's already there, what's officially been leaked, and just talk about some speculations that aren't so deep with the leaked information. Just kind of, it's okay to make up your own. Make your own little speculations based off of what you've seen from Genshin Impact. That's officially there, and yeah, so. People have been saying about, it's not Matt's job, or it's not Matt didn't sign any contract or agreements or anything of the sort. I think those points don't quite nail it for me, because while it's not his job to do so, the company still put out a warning like, hey, don't talk about this information. They made a warning about it, and yet Matt still play with that fire. So it's not so much it wasn't his job or anything like that. It's just that, he violated he was pretty much on the verge, or he was violating the sort of rights that the company had. So I think that's really the simple gist of things, really. He played with fire, and he definitely got burned for it. So, again, though, I don't have any ill will or anything like that towards Matt, of course. He provided the information. I feel like, you know, I owe him something. So, you know, I wanted to at least thank him for, well, the hard work that he did in the past. But I also think that he is his own victim, and essentially he caused everything that happened in this situation, pretty much, or most of it. And that is just because simply he very much emphasized the leaked info in a lot of his videos, and he found, or he had that sort of like that addiction or rush, you know, and people were trying to stop him or telling him to stop, but he kept going because you know, he denied it. He was naive about it, and he made up his own sort of delusions, and here we are. So I think that pretty much you know, sums it up, and that is the situation of things. And then again, I do hope that he gets his channel back, but I also hope that he reassesses things and you know, looks to change things in order to, you know have this situation again. And this is definitely it should be a big wake-up call for Matt. And again, I hope it really works out for him in the future, really. So that's it from me. That's my opinion and my thoughts about the situation with Majestic Multigaming. And if you guys have any comments about this situation, please leave them below. And those could potentially be read in the next Hawke Talks video. If you want your comments to be read, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section below. Here's the comment. So here's a comment from my Kazuha banner video that I did, and it's pretty simple. It says, from Colin Dowell, "You're the best, my boy. Hope you have a good day." Thank you. I really do appreciate it. So those comments could be relating to the video or for the channel. I really do appreciate it if you guys can provide those in the comment section below, especially if it's like feedback or any suggestions for the future. I definitely do take those very considerably. So anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. Really helpful. Really appreciate it, guys. And yeah, so this has been my Hawke Talks video on the Majestic Multigaming situation. Again, I hope he is able to work things out, but I also hope that he can gain sort of the lessons from this whole situation. So hopefully he changes for the better. Hopefully he doesn't go back to doing the same exact thing over and over again and putting himself in that same situation again, possibly or likely. But anyway, we'll see about that. And thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video. Sean out.